वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराणम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपाम्बुदीर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Warm welcome everyone. So we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We discussed till text 13 yesterday, I think, and from today we'll start from text 14. But before we go into text 14, we'll share screen and read translations 11, 12, 13, and then move on to 14. So the chapter entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. We discussed little bit overall on this chapter yesterday and what is conditioning, also shared some example. Now see, in three modes of material nature, as in modes of payment, modes of communication, right? Modes of travel, mm, modes of knowing someone. How did you get to know that person? So modes of knowing someone for that instance, how did you get to meet devotee? Mode of meeting a devotee in a way. So in material nature, three modes of material nature, and it is the varieties from these three modes. This material world is full of variety, and we cannot live without variety. We need variety. Also, tell you something. We need illusion. We cannot live without illusion. We need ignorance. Otherwise, how can I function? If I'm not covered up in bodily identity, I cannot function. Mm, Take this again, note this, and see if it is a fact of life. Struggle is in the transition only. Struggle is in the transition only. As in, some we are currently in bodily concept of life, and now we know that we are in bodily concept of life, and we want to transcend it to spiritual concept of life. So there is the struggle. But someone who is not at all aware of being in bodily concept of life, for him or her, not this struggle. Of course, they have the struggle, slightly different struggle, but struggle is in the change only. Change, we are not so open to change, we are not so receptive to change. So struggle is in this change only. So material world means three modes of material nature, which brings variety, which is very much needed. We need illusion. We cannot survive without illusion. We cannot function. We need to be covered up. And in spiritual realm, in pure Krishna consciousness, it's not like three modes functioning there. No, there's only one mode. So a question: what is that mode which is all pervaded in pure Krishna consciousness? Or to simplify the question with some clue, what is that mode or what is that mood? What is that mood all pervaded in pure Krishna consciousness? Mode or mood? The mode or mood pervaded in pure Krishna consciousness in Golok Vrindavan. In Vrindavan is the mood of love, the land of love altogether. That is the only mood, the mode of loving Sir Krishna and being loved by Krishna, the mode of being in that relationship, eternal, transcendental, loving relationship with Krishna, where there is anxiety as well, but even that anxiety is not killing, it harnesses the joy, it increases the joy. That anxiety also brings a lot of joy. So that is the mode. And now, in order for us to transcend or go to that mode of pure love, we are trying to uh, understand. It is helpful, it is required, it is helpful to understand the three modes of material nature. Otherwise, it is helpful to know where the problems lie, kind of who is my enemy and how to deal with the enemy. So it is helpful to understand the workings of this world, but we need not go deep into it. We need not go into the details of it. That is not helpful. We need to go into details of uh, Krishna Bhakti. That is required. But here, if we understand at some level the modes of material nature, that's fine, so that we know what are we dealing with. But our whole vision and our whole mood, we should be putting forward towards Golok Vrindavan, hmm, towards that engagement in loving devotional service of the loving divine couple. So, with this mood, aspiration, prayer, we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Ali, read translation 11, 12, 13. It should be on the screen. Yeah. So, Alessandra can read translations 11, 12, and 13.
Okay.
Yes.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge.
That's mode of goodness.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desires and hankering develop.
Oh, so heavy, right?
Hmm.
Symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense desire. So binds us all together. Cannot see.
When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested.
Hmm. So in mode of ignorance, no functioning, no working. One cannot see anything. One becomes blind. In mode of passion, one sees everything actually, more than what he should be seeing. Mm, Not just on the object, he's seeing everything everywhere. And mode of goodness, he sees what he needs to see. See, everything is very much covered by the modes. The way one walks, one walk is also can by one walk one can work out. Okay, mode of goodness walk, one mode of passion or mode of ignorance. The way one sits, mode of goodness, passion or ignorance. Let us read a couple more. Let's read three more translations and then we'll try to discuss more. Huh? So now we go into text 14. य- यदा सत्त्वे यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत् तदोत्मम् इद तदोतं विदां लोकानां प्रणिप्रतिपद्यते. Lucy retranslation purport.
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. One in goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka or Janaloka, and there enjoys godly happiness. The word Amalan is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages.
रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गीषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्ति मूढयोनिषु जायते. Harsha read translation purport.
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance, after his death he is degraded to an animal form of life. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness and in good association transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Okay, let's try to discuss this and then we see further. So, mode of goodness, a clear definition of mode of goodness is what? Freedom from the influence of passion and ignorance. That is mode of goodness. Clear definition. Freedom from the influence of passion and ignorance is mode of goodness. And mode of ignorance definition is what? Freedom from the mode of goodness and passion. Freedom from the influence of goodness and passion is ignorance. And passion one, he is like passion is very active, na? So active, he is always looking for an option. Always. And in his thing, passion is looking for a higher option, a better option. A passionate person is always looking, always open and looking for an option, higher and better option. But because of lack of good association, he need not take the higher option, rather go into the lower option. Take the lower option because of predominantly because of lack of association. So the way we again our walk can describe mode of goodness walk, passion walk, or ignorance walk. Imagine like walking in a street. Na? Now mode of ignorance walk is what? Aimlessly here and there, just casually looking into shops and so casually walking. Mode of goodness, yes, purpose oriented walk where I need to go, gentle, good pace, everything. And passionate walk is like elbowing everyone and walking over, say. Talking, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Dress, eh, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Every food element, every aspect of our life is heavily affected by these modes. We are living by these modes. And we discussed, right? A puppeteer, na? Puppeteer, he has like three puppets and he pulls the strings and the puppets dance accordingly. Likewise, we are being pulled by the modes of material nature and we dance accordingly. Also, practicing religion also na is like becomes like a mode of material nature only because conditioned from previous lives to practice religion. But coming into Krishna consciousness, uh, we can doesn't matter we could be in mode of ignorance or passion or goodness. If we have good company, then surely in good time our vision and our desire will change a lot. Our understanding of life will change tremendously, and we will be very enthused, very ambitious, very desirous of the attaining the highest goal, highest aim. A devotee is the most passionate person in the world. His passion is what? He's aiming Radha Krishna. He's aiming transcendence. He's aiming eternal engagement. He's aiming eternal fun, eternal sense enjoyment, eternal joy, eternal purity. Yeah, that. So in that sense, yes, devotee is the most passionate. Devotee never settles down for anything less than the best. Mode of goodness means settle down. And in Krishna consciousness, no one should settle down. No one should settle down. Settling down is a curse in Krishna consciousness. It's a curse. Stagnation is a curse in Krishna consciousness. It's a curse. Any general person wouldn't like stagnation in life. Any rational person wouldn't like stagnation in life, wouldn't like settle down as such in life. We all deep down want higher and higher joys. So in pure Krishna consciousness, there is no settling down. But how to come to that platform? The most important help is company, keeping the right company. If I am in the association of inspiring company, then I will get to read as well. And in reading, they say read between the lines. So I will understand the message more clearly, more captivated and fascinated by the message than hearing. Then the desire will come to a natural desire will invoke to practice Krishna consciousness. So that ways, uh, somehow or other, it is causeless mercy coming across Krishna consciousness. None of us can claim, no one can claim, oh, I deserve to be a devotee. I deserve to be in the company of devotees. I deserve to be practicing Krishna consciousness. What's so big deal about it? And when we hear the culture and the etiquette of Krishna consciousness, oh my God, wow. So beautiful and heart-touching culture and etiquette, behavioral patterns, very heart-touching. Philosophy is also so rich, the richest. And we cannot claim that I was supposed to be practicing Krishna consciousness. No, it is all by causeless mercy. And no shock also, we could well have been devotees in previous life. Why not? We could well have been humans in previous life and devotees, or some of us could be actually coming from the higher planets to earthly planet. But it's not something to be seen as a good report card. Rather, it's a poor report card that even though I was a devotee in previous life, still I couldn't made it then. And look at my state now. No good state as such. So it's not something to be very proud of, say. The very fact that I'm still here, stuck up in duality, and still I'm not very equipoised and all, shows that I have made hardly any progress. So how can I be proud of anything? There are two things. One is purification and purification, austerity, and another is uh, like premature love, huh? Premature love or premature devotee, premature purification. In the sense, the role, the job of a doctor could look so interesting. Oh yes, when will I become a doctor? Then I will put on the doctor coat, I will hang a stethoscope, I will go into an hospital and everyone will give me way. I will go to big surgeries, people will thank me. If I go in train, holidays and all, a doctor will be written in front of my name and I can help someone in some emergency and all. So that sort of pride and all, right? Now this but if I've not gone through the training, if I've not gone through the austerity, if I've not gone through the studies, hard labor and all, but if I just contemplate, oh, when I become a doctor, it will be so cool, so much money I will be earning. But if I ignore the hardship, the labor, the struggle, the austerity involved in becoming a doctor, and prematurely, if I blow this news or trumpet that I am going to be a doctor, I have become a doctor, I am a doctor, I am a doctor, then without becoming purified and without taking the path of austerity, if I take myself to be pure, Very dangerous proposition, very dangerous. This is why a genuine awakened sadhaka, he wouldn't ever claim to be pure or pure enough. Yes, we are pure to some extent, no doubt, but not pure enough. So until and unless I become pure enough, I have no right to be any proud, isn't it? I have not yet made it. We might be very close to becoming fully Krishna conscious. Yes, we are, in a way, we are almost there, but not yet there. We are almost there, but not yet there. Uh, There's some distance, some gap, which may not be very long if I have a good association and I can cover up that distance because good association shapes my attitude. So we are almost there, but not yet there. And this is the journey we want to embark on to make it the full circle. Uh, I ask a question in, can I ask it like this? In Krishna consciousness or in life general, which is better? Where would we like to stand? I almost won or almost lost? Yeah, in life general, say. In Krishna consciousness also and in life general, where would we want to fit in? I almost won or almost lost? I almost made it or almost missed it? Interesting, huh? That airport example again. Huh? That I almost made it into the flight or I almost missed the flight. No, I almost made into the flight or I almost missed the flight. Where would we want to be? I almost won or I almost lost. Which is better in life? Which is the tag I would want to happily carry? Any thoughts? School, college, uni, job, something. Would we want to be almost won or almost lost? I think it's always better, no? Almost lost. What does almost lost mean? Or what does almost won mean? Hare Krishna. Almost lost is what? Victory only, na? I I almost lost the race. Means if finally what? The final conclusion result is what? I won it. Just won it. Hmm? I almost missed the bus. Means what? Now I am in the bus. I almost missed it, but I made it. I almost missed it though, but still I made it. I managed to make it. And I almost made it. Means I missed it in the sense I almost reached there, but I could see the bus going by. I couldn't step in. Almost lost. Uh, I almost lost. As in, it was, I somehow won it. And almost won means what? I lost it actually. I just could see the aeroplane, I could see the bus, and was almost there, but not yet there. So in Krishna consciousness, in life general, well, actually entering sadhaka should realize that entering Golok Vrindavan, entering the transcendental world, the transcendental pastime, hmm, uh, I have no merit on my own. I have to be almost making it just that that thing somehow or other I make it. I have no merit. Somehow or other I make it. So in life, you can, if I can just, okay, Krishna, let me almost lost, almost lost. This is what devotee association actually can do. Uh, That almost lost means what? Made it, made it. On my own, I'm perpetuating my material existence. But if I have the right inspiration in front of me, then it will be like, okay, I almost lost. Means I made it, but had I been on my own effort, on my own merit, I would have screwed it up, messed it up. This is what I'm doing in by my independent nature. Uh, Krishna consciousness, spirituality is not to be practiced in isolation. What joy in isolation? No. Joy is in service, devotional service in association of devotees. Does this somewhat help the almost lost, almost won say? Now, whole life is to cover this gap. Mm. We are almost there, but not yet there. We are almost Krishna conscious, almost. Yes, but not fully yet there. And now is this journey, this opportunity to make it complete. Okay, let us see next. And if any question, comment, direct from the sloka purport, then say, or otherwise also, then can say. Huh? So let us see next. I think text 16 now. Yeah, and if Anuja can read translation purport, then read. If Anuja cannot, then Rajshri read. कर्मण सुकृतस्यायुं सात्विकीं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमस फलम्. Anuja, would you be okay to read?
The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. The result of pious activities in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus, Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go on toward animal life. Animal life is always miserable, although under the spell of the illusory energy, Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill them. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is a son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So, indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, It has to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 9.46.4, the words Gobya, Pranita, Matsaram indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, is desirous of killing the cow is in the grossest ignorance. There is also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states,
नमो ब्राह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद हिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः.
My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Puran 1.19.65. The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for the protection of the cows and the brahmanas. Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. These two living creatures, the brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger.
In modern society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. Very nice purport.
The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness.
See, whatever we act, there's going to be some reaction, no? And there's going to be some effect. So, acting in mode of goodness brings what? A sense of happiness, a sense of peace, a sense of contentment, which is good, very good. But a sadhaka, he knows that just mode of goodness is good, but it is not good enough. It's definitely good, but not just good enough. So for a sadhaka, challenge is how can he not just be in living in the mode of goodness. Discipline, consistency, yes, means mode of goodness. But from discipline and consistency, what we need to bring it our second nature as such. You know, okay, the stages in devotional service. Uh, Rajshri, do you know the stages? You would know these stages surely, right? Well, faith to begin with, some faith, and then
The 9 stages of devotional service you're asking,
yes,
Prabhuji.
yes.
Okay. I am not, I have read about it, but I don't remember the exact
Okay, with faith,
sequence.
what
Yeah.
happens after faith? Anuradha, you know, after faith comes what? When we have faith, that is when we associate with devotees, right? If I have tiny bit of faith, only then I will go to the temple or the preaching center or the program. So with faith, associate with devotees. And what happens after associating with devotees? Bhajana Kriya.
Bhajan.
Yes, Bhajan Kriya. Shraddha, will lead us to sadhu sang, that will lead us to bhajan kriya. Bhajan kriya means engaging in devotional service, in devotee association, do some services, a little bit of reading, hearing, chanting in devotee association. And what will that do? What will be the effect of bhajan kriya? Where will it lead us? It will lead us to anartha nivarti. uh, Earth means something valuable. Unearth means unvaluable. And nivriti means get rid of. Mm. So getting rid of that which is unwanted in life. So all those unwanted attachments, unwanted desires, unwanted thoughts, unwanted lifestyle and all, through doing, reading, hearing, chanting in good association, we will be gradually getting rid of. And when we see this unwanted things I'm harboring, carrying in my heart, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, delusion, vanity, all this when I see going away from my heart, straight away will give me what? Conviction, nishta. Oh wow, the process works. Yes, uh, I had slight faith to begin with, and with that slight faith, I associated with devotees. And what could I see is that I was encouraged to do some daily reading, hearing, chanting. And then slowly, steadily doing daily reading, hearing, chanting, I could see some unwanted things coming out. And now, yes, the process definitely works. So, Nishta. And after Nishta, when one does reading, hearing, chanting, he will be at the level of ruchi, interest. Hmm. Before conviction, someone has to be pushed a lot. Someone has to be pushed a lot. Oh, come for the morning program, come to the Mangal Aarti, come to temple, come to festival. Yes, okay, because it's not fixed up, na? So needs lots of push, encouragement, maneuvering. And when one is fixed up, say Nishta, then he doesn't need to be pushed. He would want to do it. And then comes interest, that he does devotional service out of interest. One wants to do it. And after interest is attachment, asakti, attachment, and then bhav, and then prem. So these are the 9 stages. Now, the 7, 8, and 9, attachment, bhav, and prem, they are a different league altogether. They are a different league. And the biggest distance, the longest distance is between interest and attachment. Uh, We want to do devotional service with interest. I have interest, so I do it. Yeah, studying, say daily reading, hearing, doing extra services out of interest. Yes, interest. Then driven. One thing is what? That I should do it. Hmm? I should do it, or I want to do it. I have to. One is I have to do it. करना पड़ता है भाई. माला करनी पड़ती है. So have to do is no good. Have to do is like not self driven, na? Oh, I have to do homework. My mother has, otherwise my mother will get upset and I will have to listen from her. No. So one is have to do it. So ऐसा नहीं है कि हम भक्ति करनी पड़ती है. No. माला करनी पड़ती है. I have to do mala. I have to do bhakti. No. So that is a very low level. Better that what? I should be doing it, which is good. I should do. Then what? I want to do it. I want to do it very self-driven. I want to do reading, hearing, chanting. Even before I want, like I have the option to do it. I have the opportunity to do it, which is one should be very happy about it. Wow, I'm blessed to do reading, hearing, chanting. And then I want to do reading, hearing, chanting. And then what? I love doing reading, hearing, chanting. So asakti, attachment is I love doing reading, hearing, chanting. Attachment is that it becomes the natural. Then he's above consistency and above discipline. He's at the attachment level. So mode of goodness is at interest level, but attachment is like okay, now we are crossing the mode of goodness. We are crossing. Bhav is beyond mode of goodness. Bhav is the ankur, the seed, the root of prem. Just like when the sun rises na, in the morning in the horizon, the sun has not fully risen. but we see the glimpse, right? We see some glimpse, we see some glimmer, and that light coming out. So that is bhav. It is the root or the seed of prem. And in this human form of life, it is very difficult to have Krishna Prem in this body. This body is not conducive. This body of material elements, panch bhautik material elements, na, earth, water, fire, air, ether, is not conducive. It cannot hold that pressure. It cannot hold that energy of Krishna Prem altogether. Uh, those ecstasy may come, but short-lived. Uh, ecstasy, so there are different kinds of ecstasy, 6, 7, 8 kinds of different ecstasy, like shivering, crying, shrinking, expanding, uh, transcendental jubilation, transcendental lamentation. So this body is not so well equipped to handle such sorts of ecstasies for any long duration. So prem is very difficult to hold on to in this body. Bhav can be experienced, and bhav has to be made sustained. Everything has to be made satat, as in consolidated. So consolidated interest is what then becoming attachment, and that attachment has to be maintained. Attachment means, okay, then he or she doesn't need telling. They are naturally attached beyond mind control and sense control. Interest is up until, okay, mind control and sense control. But in attachment, natural proclivity. So mode of goodness brings a sense of good. Mode of passion means very misery. eh, Either so happy or so sad. In speaking also we see now, so happy, so sad, very happy, very sad. So that's mode of goodness, passion. And ignorance, bless him, he has no time to contemplate. Ignorance person has no time for anything. He's in so much of sleep, inertia, lazy and craziness. He has no time for anything. Um, Once we discussed, there are four categories of people in this world. Uh, and we can break it further, or we can see from different angles, visions. Prabhupada said, four categories of people in this world. One is busy fool. Another is busy intelligent. One is lazy fool. Another is lazy intelligent. So I will call out again and you let me know from which one is the best, which one is second best, third best, and the fourth best. Say. So which one is the best, and then second best, then good, and then say worst. So busy fool, busy intelligent. Lazy fool, lazy intelligent. Which one is the best? Maybe I'm putting you a bit on the spot. There are four kinds of people. Someone is a busy fool, someone is a busy intelligent, someone is a lazy fool, someone is a lazy intelligent. So of course, the fool, they are no good. Be it busy fool or lazy fool, no good. Someone who is busy intelligent is good. Someone who is lazy intelligent is also good. They are intelligent. Now depends. Busy intelligent is busy with what? Lazy intelligent is lazy with what? Hmm? But busy fool, lazy fool, no good. Now, busy fool are who generally? Big businessmen who are very much in bodily identity of life. Busy fool. Very busy, but their engagement is foolish. Okay, let us read a couple more translation purport, then maybe we can discuss further. Say, And any questions and all, then share anytime. See, busy fool is person whose actions will result in misery or tremendous short-lived happiness. Happiness, but for this life only. Nothing for next life good. No. Yeah. And lazy fool is ignorance. Lazy fool is person in ignorance who is not doing good in this life and not in next life. Someone in mode of passion, he is doing good only in this life and not worrying about nothing securing for next life. Mode of ignorance, doing good not in this life and next life also no good. Mode of goodness, doing good in this life also and making good future, next life. Transcendental mode, doing good in this life and consolidating eternal life. That is transcendental nature. Transcendental goodness is what we want to aim. So let's read a couple more. 17 and 18 is like we all have heard, right? What we all might have heard, would have heard perhaps, this past life regression. Past life regression. And in 18, we get to see actually some principles of or glimpse of principles of past life regression and future life regression as well. So, okay, let's read 17. If Alessandra is there, can you read 17? And if Lucy is there, if she can read 18. Satvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramada mohayo tamaso bhavato jnanam eva cha.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion.
Okay, to read Prabhupada.
Since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entities, Krishna consciousness is recommended. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking the chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. Because people have no education in the actual knowledge, they become irresponsible to stop this irresponsibility. Education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous, even if the majority of the people aren't happy and prosperous. If a certain percentage of the population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is the possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. Otherwise, if the world is devoted to the modes of passion and ignorance, there can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy and their hankering for sense of enjoyment has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself to the mode of goodness by practicing Krishna consciousness. When one is engaged in the mode of passion, not only is he mentally unhappy, but his profession and occupation are also very troublesome. He has to devise so many plans and schemes to acquire enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad. Being distressed by their circumstances can take shelter of intoxication, and thus they sink further into ignorance. Their future in life is very dark.
Very practical purpose, very powerful, relatable. And it's not having a dig in at someone, no. It's reality. Just little bit of sanity is required to see this reality. Translation, please.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion.
Let's read one more and then we try to discuss a bit. So urdhvam satvati ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्त मध्यतिष्ठन्ति राजस जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्त अधो गच्छन्ति तामसा. Lucy, would you be okay to translation proper?
Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. In this verse, the results of actions in the three modes of nature are more explicitly set forth. There is an upper planetary system consisting of the heavenly planets, where everyone is highly elevated. According to the degree of development of the mode of goodness, the living entity can be transferred to various planets in the system. The highest planet is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, where the prime person of this universe, Lord Brahma, resides. We have seen already that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka, but the highest condition of life, the mode of goodness, can bring us to this. The mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle between the modes of goodness and ignorance. The person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in the mode of passion, he will simply remain on this earth as a king or a rich man. But because there are mixtures, one can also go down. People on this earth in the mode of passion or ignorance cannot forcibly approach the higher planets by machine. In the mode of passion, there is also the chance of becoming mad in the next life. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance, is described here as abominable. The result of developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life, birds, beasts, reptiles, trees, etc. And according to the development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. The word tamasa is very significant here. Tamasa indicates those who stay continuously in the mode of ignorance without rising to a higher mode. Their future is very dark. There is an opportunity for men in the modes of ignorance and passion to be elevated to the mode of goodness, and that system is called Krishna consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in the lower modes. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds.
Yeah. See, past life regression, present life, and future life also. No? How we live, either we will be going up, down, or again in this earthly planet. Living in mode of goodness, future is what? Higher. And living in mode of passion, earthly planet again. And in mode of ignorance, downward. You know, there was a research done that if people's faces are symmetrical or one sort of shape, it makes the person look beautiful. Did anyone hear of this? I heard it a bit briefly. If anyone heard, then please share. So based on one's face cut, then the person appears to be more beautiful. And tell you another thing. When one is under the influence of alcohol, when one has taken quite a bit of intoxication alcohol, quite a bit or somewhat alcohol, Then he starts seeing people with that face cut, with that shape. And under the influence of alcohol, then he sees people with that shape and all, and looks what? Oh, he's beautiful or she's beautiful. And when the um, influence of alcohol, na, when the addiction, the influence, nasha, intoxication calms down, subsides, then he comes to reality and realizes, oh, not so beautiful, huh? Not so beautiful. So this is the world we live in. Uh, Intoxication, na, they make passionate, they create a sense of passion. The singing, the dance in pubs and clubs, they create a sense attachment, na? Very physical attraction towards the female, the opposite sex, men and women. It brings that fuels very much. So also interestingly, once was it in UK, I think, that some cigarette companies and some alcohol or some intoxication advertisements for them were banned because they were not good against, they were against the regulators, and some of the form of advertisements were banned, but that did not impact the sales at all. Funnily or ironically, it did not impact the sales. Sales were still the same or sales were still rising. So that is addiction. Mm. When one is so passionately greedy, addicted, and all, you give advertisement or does do not give advertisement. If one is hooked, he is hooked. Like that, we want to be hooked in Krishna consciousness. Like that, we pray, we aspire to be hooked in Krishna consciousness. Mm. Good times or bad times, we just continue march on in Krishna consciousness. Mm. So this it is drinking. Prabhupada used to say this very beautiful that what uh, people have smiling faces but crying hearts. Check this out in pubs and club culture. Na? People have smiling faces, night dues, parties, and all. People have smiling faces but crying hearts. Just tap into the shoulder and tears will come out. So we live in a life of cover up. We live in a life of illusion. Alcohol, drinking, all this is what taking us away from reality. That's passionate and ignorant life. Mode of goodness, following four regulative principles, they bring us to mode of goodness. They do not give us bhakti, but they help us stay on the path of morality. They do not let us go slide down in the path of ignorance and passion. है ना? What does meat eating protect, or what does it bring? Meat eating, avoiding meat eating, no meat eating, it protects one's compassion. है ना? It protects one's compassion. It brings compassion in one's life. It brings that virtue. So with compassion, there's that peace would come about. Meat eating is very heavy suffering. Na? We are taking on so much of suffering. For a moment, if I leave aside Krishna consciousness, if I leave aside Vedic literature, and at least if we see just the vegan movement, they are not at all like promoting Krishna conscious, or they do not may not be knowing Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literature, but at least that academic oriented study research shows, right, that this meat industry is giving so much into methane gas and polluting the environment, and the way it is run, such a biggest contributor of global warming by far. And Vedas have been telling this from day one. So so the common sense, no, but natural, Baba, you are killing someone. It's a kill, right? Killing someone. Ultimately, for what? To satisfy my tongue. Ultimately, to satisfy my tongue, is it not? In 1970s, devotees in UK and America, Australia places used to go out, do Harinam, distribute books, and even now do. And at that time in 70s, police were not happy, government was not happy in Europe, in America, in Australia. Police, government, police, local authorities were not happy, and regularly devotees would be put behind the bars for doing what? For chanting Hare Krishna and distributing books like Bhagavad Gita and books like Art of Vegetarian Cooking, Higher Taste, books like that, put behind the bars. But it is that the blood and sweat of devotees there preaching for continuous these years. Now that we see, okay, vegan movement is advancing and all this is to bring about the mission of Mahaprabhu. So meat eating, no, it's killing only, animal suffering, someone is suffering. Where will that karma, where will that reaction go? It has to be passed on somewhere. It will come back to me only, and in the form of wars, in the form of pesticides, in the form of droughts, in the forms of bomb blasts. It is going to come. Another question, see, how many churches are newly getting opened? How many temples are being opened? Versus how many pubs are being opened? How many cities, malls, shopping centers, makeup shops, and all are getting opened? See, in town center, city center, in big cities, see how many pubs can we find? Any idea how many pubs could be there in Glasgow city center? I think someone was saying in Leeds, easy 100 or 50 would be there. In York, in big cities, small cities, lots of pubs and new opening. And how many churches? There were at some point, but very less now. And not many people go. The youth, not much youth go. So by seeing this, we can see the society is it living in mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. In what mode are we living? And we are very conditioned as we try to understand conditioning yesterday. Conditioning means our second nature, habituated. So our second nature has become our first nature currently. And now is the struggle to come to our first nature, revive our first nature, which is to be pure Krishna conscious. And now also coming on busy fool, lazy fool, busy intelligent, lazy intelligent. Hmm. So some examples, busy fool again, politicians say for that matter, businessmen, celebrities, sports star. Again, not having a dig at anyone, but someone, and not all politicians, of course, not all businessmen, sports star, but someone who is very much in bodily concept of life, very busily engaged, chasing what? Woman, wealth, and wine. Very bodily engaged. So that busy fool. Fool why? Because bodily concept of life and busily engaged in multiplying, creating, multiplying, creating. So busy fool. Lazy fool, ignorant person. Fool, huh? Bodily concept of life and will do nothing for this life. Busy fool, at least he's making this life somewhat active, na? Some good food, good shelter, something he's doing for this life. Lazy fool, he doesn't want to do any work, he doesn't want to cook, he doesn't want to eat, he doesn't want to shower. Lazy, and on top of that, no shower, no bath needed, no cooking needed, uh, rotten food, outdated food he will be eating, mm, bath once a week or something. That's lazy fool. Lazy and crazy altogether, completely irresponsible. And then busy intelligent, lazy intelligent. Intelligent means devotee, someone in mode of goodness, devotee. Now busy intelligent, devotee, very busy in Krishna conscious activities. Intelligent and busy in Krishna conscious activities. Lazy intelligent, again devotee say, intelligent, lazy in mundane affairs, as in politics, what is going on, lazy, not interested. Sports, movie industry, gossips, scandals, not interested. So, but intelligent, that is lazy intelligent. Now, how, this is a question for all of us to see. Where do I fit in? Busy intelligent, lazy intelligent, busy fool, or lazy fool? And where do I want to aspire? Busy intelligent, lazy intelligent. Now, how do I go? when I understand a bit the modes, the lifestyle changes, when I properly utilize my time, then I can come on this and sustain it. So in human form of life, attachment is what I should be aiming for. When I become attached, that means attachment is at stage wherein one doesn't need thinking. Common example, na, boy and girl. One is infatuation, one is interest, one is crush, those sort of thing, na? And another is attachment. So in that attachment, then boy doesn't need any counseling. The girl also doesn't need any counseling. Very convinced, yes, made for each other. So that sort of attachment is what we want to develop for Radha and Krishna. That attachment. And in this attachment, then we are not like towards mind control, sense control, or pressure. No, then it should be a natural free flow. So up until ruchi is very much mode of goodness is required. But coming to attachment is we are going beyond mode of goodness now. So in this human form of life, we have to aim for minimum that, and we haven't yet made it there. Isn't it such a pity, such an irony? In this kalpa, in this creation only, what to speak of eternity? Just in this, Lord Brahma is now 51-year-old, something like that on that range. Huh? So many cycles of Satyuga, Dwapar, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Dark Age has gone through. And look at my situation. Look at my level of devotion. So I'm so heavily by in between stuck up with the modes. Heavily influenced by the modes. I am not getting angry. It is the modes making me angry. I'm not getting lusty. It's just the modes telling me, okay, come on, now you be lusty. Okay, come on, now you be angry. Okay, come on, now you dance as greedy. I want you to be a bit greedy dance. When we see the signs, the stars, and the charts, astrological charts and all. So we are governed by them. We are ruled over by them. And we are trying to make some adjustments, win over, do some, put some rings or do some other mantra or some things, but we are still very much under their control. And practicing Krishna consciousness, we can understand and we can penetrate, we can go beyond, we can cut through it. Practicing Krishna consciousness. Our real mode is what? The mood of love. That is our real nature. So practicing Krishna consciousness, we can come to that real nature. Any thoughts, questions, or comments? Text 19 is amazing, super amazing. All the texts are super amazing actually. Let's read text 19, translation purport. Uh, yeah, it's not so long. So Lucy, okay, Rajashri, you read translation purport. Huh? नान्यं गुणेभ्य कर्तारं यदा दृष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति. Rajshri, are you okay to read? Translation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, network is breaking.
So, yeah.
When one properly sees that in all activities, no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. One can transcend all the activities of the modes of material nature simply by understanding them properly, by learning from the proper souls. The real spiritual master is Krishna, and he is imparting this spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. Similarly, it is from those who are fully in Krishna consciousness that one has to learn this science of activities in the terms of modes of nature. Otherwise, one's life will be misdirected. By the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, a living entity can know of his spiritual position, his material body, his senses, how he is entrapped, and how he is under the spell of the material modes of nature. He is helpless being in the grip of these modes, but when he can see his real position, then he can attain to the transcendental platform, having the scope for spiritual life. Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activities. He is forced to act because he is situated in a particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless
Read
one
again.
has
He is forced. Read again.
Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activities. He is forced to act because he is situated in a particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless one has the help of spiritual authority, he cannot understand in what position he is actually situated. With the association of a bona fide spiritual master, he can see his real position, and by such an understanding, he can become fixed in full Krishna consciousness. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of the material modes of nature. It has already been stated in the 7th chapter that one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from the activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases. Translation: when one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So nice, na? See how Krishna is speaking, the three modes, how he starts and where he brings this one. And this is what to attain, na? This is to attain. That how can I see the modes working, the modes interacting, and I just be an observer. See, Krishna is an observer in this material world, right? Krishna is a witness in this material world. He's not a performer in this material world. He's just a witness and observer. Likewise, we also, if we can take a step back, if we can detach ourselves, we should not be any egoistic, mundanely, any bodily egoistic. No, not hold any issues. Just be, if we can be very calm, peaceful, free from any sorts of false ego, and see that it is the modes they are performing. Modes are at work, not me, the soul proper. I am different from the modes. Then we will attain peace, and gradually, then we understand Krishna's nature. We started discussing this one, that it is good to understand the play of the workings of the modes of material nature, but we need not go deep in there. इतना जान लिया बहुत है. Deep we have to go in Krishna bhajan. Attachment, understanding, further details and all in Krishna bhajan. Modes are playing, they will let them play, Baba. We just focus on Krishna bhajan in good association. And throughout this purport, see, Prabhupada is saying what? Real spiritual master, spiritual authority, some spiritual person, that association we can only help us come out. Uh, then we will be able to see things as they are. Otherwise, we are helpless in the grip of these modes. We cannot see things as they are for what is the real worth. I think that I am the doer. I am not the doer. It is the modes they are doer. Karta ham iti manyate. I think that I am the doer. Prakriti kriyamanani gunay karmani sarvasya. It is the gunay. They are making things do. Hmm. Modes of material nature, na guna, qualities. So the quality of goodness, quality of passion, quality of ignorance. Sometimes we feel very charitable, na. It is the mood which makes us charitable. It is the mood which makes us greedy, and it is the mood which makes us lazy altogether. But yet I have gotten free will, I've gotten power, I've gotten authority, and that power will be more powerful when I'm in the right company of devotees. When I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, then I can truly exercise that power. Otherwise, a conditioned soul without devotee friend, without devotee association, without reading, hearing, chanting, he cannot exercise that power. Without that, what will happen? Manorathena asti dhavato bahi, Bhagavatam says, 5:18-12. Manorathena asti, man, mind, ratho, rath, chariot. Manorathena asti, situated in the chariot of his mind, one will be taken wherever. It's a very troublesome journey. So we have to pray that we do not get caught up in these modes. Enough of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now life is a chase after Krishna. Now for that we have, Krishna should appear beautiful to me. If Krishna is not appearing beautiful to me, how can I chase? I won't be able to chase. And how would Krishna appear beautiful to me? When I chant his holy names and when I associate with devotees. When I hear from devotees the beauty of Krishna, the intelligence of Krishna, then my intrigue will come more and more. And I should be fascinated and captivated by Krishna's beauty. Then this mundane world's beauty won't be having a say on me. It cannot touch me. It cannot pull me down in any form or shape. So in this human form of life, we have to aim for minimum attachment. Go towards asakti, attachment. That is the help. Without asakti, there is no assurance. No assurance. And asakti is like, then yes, we are doing devotional service. Without asakti, that joy in bhajan is no. Asakti is the biggest step between interest and asakti. That's the huge step. From asakti, it's a different league again. Asakti to bhav to prem. So it is Krishna consciousness is about prioritizing life, developing a vision of life, making our desires proper. What desires I want. So almost won or almost lost. Now choice is ours. What do I want to say? जब कई बार माइक मिलता है ना बोलने को, so our turn will come to speak, and what do I say? Oh, you know what? I almost lost it. Or what? I almost won. Almost won मतलब क्या? Ultimately I lost ना. I did not win. I lost only ultimately. And almost lost means what? That भाई बाल बाल बच गया. Just made it. Just made it ना. बाल बाल बच गया बस somehow almost almost lost मतलब क्या? जीत गया भाई. जीत गया. है ना? भाई almost fever, almost this, वैसे almost lost. So this is what we our becoming a devotee and then asakti and beyond this attitude has to be there. That wow, almost lost. But we are currently lost very much in material world. Uh, an advanced devotee never says that he's not lost in the material world. He thinks that the more one advances, the more one thinks that less Krishna conscious I am. This is the paradox. And this is because of real humility, not fake. So purify ourselves, go through that austerity. Without becoming pure, claiming to be pure is horrible. eh? Without becoming a teacher, and if I think myself to be a teacher, so dangerous, misleading for myself, misleading students. Without going through doctor program, and if I take myself to be a doctor, so dangerous. Without becoming a officer, if I act as a police officer, so dangerous. So without purifying myself, without going through austerity, and if I take myself to be a devotee without becoming a devotee, that is another spell of mayas. That is like spiritual illusion then. So we do not want any of that. Aim for asakti. You know? We want to be pure. We want to purify ourselves. We want to go through that austerity to love Krishna, to please Krishna. Krishna is the dearmost personality in our life, should be the sweetest personality in our life. And for that sweet love, we should accept tolerances, accept responsibilities. So, again, almost won or almost lost, we can decide choice is ours. What do we want to say? If we become a devotee one day, and if we attain transcendental realm, if we attain Golok Vrindavan, if we attain eternity, if I get our eternal spiritual body, the mood will be like this only. That what? Almost lost. I had almost lost. But someone came and saved me. Who is that someone? Devotee, spiritual master. Otherwise, I almost lost had he had not come and saved me and pulled me through. Hare Krishna. Any question, thoughts, or comments? Addition, clarification? Okay, thank you very much for your patient listening. Then we leave it here and we continue tomorrow from text 20. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.